Good evening, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Welcome to another episode of Critique Corner with me, Daniel Parker.
And this is DB Fastbinder.
And if you are returning, welcome back. If you're new, what we do here is we critique stuff from our corners. We usually do something new or more contemporary with something older and classic. This week we've got an interesting pair of movies that we're reviewing.
You know, it would have been even weirder if we'd stuck with Harry and the Hendersons as our comedy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe some other time. But yes, to start us off this week, we have got The Northman.
The Northman. You know, Daniel, this plot seemed pretty familiar. You know, it's about a prince whose uncle shows up and kills his father. Then he goes into exile for a while. Then he comes back for revenge. I think this movie might be based on The Lion King.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. Definitely some similarities there. Yeah.
Yeah. It's as if there's some sort of shared source that they're both adapting in their own way. But I can't think of what that would possibly be.
Yeah.
There's the rub.
Yeah.
All right. So all kidding aside, this is a movie directed by Robert Eggers, which is it has a pretty intriguing idea, which is what if what would the real story of Hamlet have been like? Because Hamlet is based on a real Danish king, I believe. Yes, right, something rotten to say of Denmark.
Yeah.
But I think that the story would have been old enough that it would have originated during the Viking era, or if it wouldn't have, then this is at least like a creative juxtapositioning of it or transposing of the story.
Yeah. Well, we did review a movie with it was Beowulf with Vikings. So yeah.
And one lost Arab.
Yes. Yeah. By the way, we're referring to the 13th Warrior. If you haven't seen that review, go check that out or watch that movie. It's really good. But
Yep.
but yeah, this movie is definitely borrowing heavily from Hamlet, and it's if it's not obvious in the first 5 minutes, it will definitely become more obvious the more further along you go. There's even our hero or our titular Northman, what was it? Amalith. I knew it sounded like Hamlet. Amalith, who's played by Alexander Skarsgård, who we saw in Battleship. He was the brother of Taylor Kitsch's character who gets killed early on.
Whoa. Are you spoiling the greatness that is Battleship? People should have the right to go there and appreciate the artistry without any preconceptions.
Oh, I know. Oh, okay. Oh. Shame on me.
How dare you?
Yeah, I know. But yeah, he even has a to be or not to be esque monologue in there. There's even the Alas Poor Yorick scene, although he doesn't hold the skull up or head up, but close enough.
Yeah, and I think that, how to put this, I think this movie is very gritty and realistic, and I don't doubt some of the odder elements that they have of what life in Viking times was like.
Oh yeah,
like some of the religious ceremonies, the magic. The Yorick scene. You have a guy, or you have a shaman cutting pieces off of a preserved head to throw into a fire to grant him visions and things like that.
Yeah, I can definitely see them. Definitely see Eggers going for the authenticity in that regard. I think the issue I have with it, and I think you had this issue too, is it looks nice, but it's just like there's nothing like no substance to hold on to.
Right, and it's a very different style of movie than I'm used to. I know that some people really go for it, but so sometimes it feels like there's these movies where I don't even know how to put it exactly. I was definitely missing the pithy Shakespearean dialogue
Mm.
because all of the dialogue was very plain, like Amleth going, "Oh, I will kill him and I will avenge him and I'll avenge my father and save my mother and da 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 da," or
Yeah,
whatever his oath was.
yeah, yeah. There wasn't any of the I'll catch the conscience of the king and all that. Yeah,
Right, because it's basically had all of the humanity stripped out of it. Um, or not all the humanity, all the gentleness stripped out of it because it's a brutal age with brutal people.
yeah, yeah. And the other thing too is there was no. I don't think Ophelia was in there, was she? I don't remember there being an Ophelia character,
Well,
unless that was Anya Taylor Joy.
might be the closest, but she wasn't exactly encouraging madness, or she wasn't exactly mad herself.
Right. Yeah. Um, but yeah, uh, this is my second Robert Eggers movie that I've seen. Um, the other one being his version of Nosferatu, which I did a review of that a few months back. Go check that out. I think I had the same problem with that movie that I had with this movie. Was it was just like it's his style is kind of like you had a hard difficult time getting this movie. I did too. I had a difficult time getting into Nosferatu, and it was just like I had a like I guess it was just the way that he he by the way he loves tracking shots. I noticed.
Yeah, like the attack of the berserkers upon the village when
Yeah,
uh, when Amleth was out there being a mercenary, basically.
yeah, yeah, and yeah,
Yeah, I think that's another thing is that I actually had a very hard time caring about his revenge after it's like, oh, okay, so you get high in a bear shirt and go and murder people, capture them, uh, divvy up the women. Okay, cool, cool. You're awful.
yeah,
Why do I care about your revenge again?
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah,
Not that it's unrealistic, but like here's the thing about a lot of the best of like Norse mythology and history. There's usually like a sense of humor behind it. Like, oh, that Loki, he got Thor's hammer lost, and we have to get it back. Oh, I guess we'll dress up Thor like a bride and convince a very stupid giant to let him in so that he could take his hammer back and save the day.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's no humor in this movie at all.
Maybe like a line that I thought was funny.
Yeah,
Um, Now it's got a pretty stacked cast in its own way. I was like, as much as I didn't really find myself caring about the proceedings or the characters, like Alexander Skarsgård, he's the big grim hunk of meat that he's tasked to be. He does a good job of it.
yeah,
Um, Nicole Kidman is very, despite all the Botox basically freezing her face, so she can't really emote too well. She still does a good job as a rather duplicitous queen.
yeah. And yeah, then you have Anya Taylor Joy as Olga, who is the I guess you could say she was a like a apothecary witch type,
Yeah,
and she's also, of course, the love interest. Um,
you know, I've seen enough movies with Anya Taylor Joy. She just doesn't do it for me, like acting wise, most of the time.
she's a decent enough actress, I think. I think her problem is that she doesn't have she doesn't quite have the same screen presence as some other actresses, like maybe like Scarlett Johansson um, or maybe or even Sydney Sweeney. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I think I think in many movies she's almost like window dressing.
Yeah, which is kind of unfortunate for her, but
Yeah.
I also can't like give her extra credit because what this really just keeps telling me is that um, she has fairly bad taste in scripts to pick up.
Yeah. Yeah. Although I guess you can't really fault her too much for New Mutants.
Actually, she was one of the okay, she was one of the better parts of New Mutants, but that was because of her ridiculous moose and squirrel accent and party
Yeah.
girl behavior or
Yeah.
nonsense behavior.
Yeah. But yeah, like Furiosa was okay, and
I think her best role that I've seen is probably The Menu,
yeah, yeah,
which that wasn't my favorite movie either, but she was a good main character in it.
yeah. Well, and she was playing off of Ray Fiennes, but
That does help.
yeah,
But so you're going down the cast somewhere. Holy crap! It's Ethan Hawke.
yeah, yes, Ethan Hawke's the king. Yeah, he has maybe 5 minutes of screen time before he gets killed off.
Yeah,
Although in this he gets killed by a bunch of arrows and a sword to the head, and not by poison most foul.
right. I think that this movie like loves brutality. I think brutal would be the word that I would use to describe it
Mm-hmm.
over everything else.
Oh
And it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
I'm not a big fan of brutality in a movie for its own sake. Like I could get in on this action and the visual design and everything. Yeah, I just needed to like, sympathize and care about the characters more, or else why are you there?
yeah,
Um, I will say there were little nods to the original play that I appreciated, like the one witch who sends Amleth off on his journey. They didn't. I noticed they only had one witch instead of three, but she had like a triple design on her uh, on these bangles that covered her eyes
yeah,
to evoke the three witches. So, lots of little nods to the Shakespearean original there.
yeah,
It's very pretty. It's very well shot. Just left me feeling empty.
yeah. Yeah, and of course, other thing too, in typical Robert Eggers fashion, if he's doing a period piece, he relies heavily on natural lighting. So it it's yeah, like DB, as you said, DB, it's pretty to look at, but sometimes it's kind of hard to see what's going on.
That too. Also, he loves his extended setup scenes.
Yeah, yeah, very Denis Villeneuve-esque. Yeah, he does. Denis Villeneuve does that too with a lot of his shots. But yeah, and it's it's kind of like how Stephen King views the movie version of The Shining. It's like looking at a pristine, restored sports car with no engine in it.
Yeah, yeah. I would say that this is currently on Netflix. Um, I think you can probably figure out in the first 5 minutes if you're going to vibe with this or not.
Yeah. Well, if you can get past the scene where the king and Amaleth are acting like dogs, um, you know,
Thank you. That reminds me of another thought I had, which was they definitely were trying to like make the Vikings look like a bunch of savages, which they were.
yeah,
But it struck me as if this was like a period piece set in Africa or North America and you portrayed the people the same way, you'd probably get accused of some unfortunate thoughts.
yes, yeah. Well, but they're all white, so it's fine.
Right, exactly. Well,
Yeah.
I was trying to dance around that a little bit, but yes, I did just
Yeah.
strike me as funny that like you can get away with it with European cultures.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, pretty short review by our standards.
Yeah.
Just because like there isn't much to say, honestly. Like, and this will either appeal to you or you'll get bored within the first 5 minutes and want to give up.
Yeah.
Which I kind of wish I had watched this first because that would have made our second movie a much nicer counterpoint. A
Yes.
little bit of dessert. I'm in the mistake of eating my Twinkies before my sandwich.
Yes. 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 Our second review of the night, the classic army comedy Stripes, which I had never seen before.
Which astounds me because this is probably my third time seeing it. It's like usually I'm the guy who's only ever heard of a particular '80s comedy.
Yeah, well, I'd heard about this movie, and I thought about watching it, but I think what happened was my father wasn't really too keen on it. Not really sure why. That might have biased me a little bit. But for once, I actually liked something my father didn't. Yeah, so this movie, it's about John Winger, who's played by Bill Murray, and he's a what's the word for it? Smart aleck who drives a.
Bill Murray playing a smart aleck? Tell me it isn't so. He's stretching himself so much.
Oh, I know, yeah. He drives a cab in New York. But he hates doing it, and so he quits his job, and then he goes back to his apartment, and then he breaks up with his girlfriend, or his girlfriend breaks up with him, and
He has no direction in life.
Right, and then you've also got his buddy, who's played by Harold Ramis. What was his name? Russell. And Russell's teaching English as a second language to a bunch of people who it's just.
All right. How many of you think you speak very good English?
Yeah.
How many of you think you speak intermediate English?
Yeah.
Who here knows an English phrase? Yes, you in the front. Son of beach.
Son of beach.
By the end of it, he's having him sing "Do run, 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 do run, run."
Yeah, and then Russell. So they're sitting. Russell and John are sitting in their apartment, in John's apartment, and then they see an ad for the army, and Winger's like, "Hey, why don't we join the army?" Because they got nothing else to do.
Right, they're not going anywhere else.
Yeah.
And so they bring that same level of dedication and discipline that they had in their civilian lives to their army life.
Yes, and it goes exactly how you would expect.
Much to the much to the disgust of their drill sergeant, Sergeant Holka, played by Warren Oates.
Yeah,
who had a very long career with a lot of IMDb entries, but I think we had barely seen any of them, if any. So I'd always thought he seemed familiar, but maybe he just seems like the type of like super classic drill sergeant.
Yeah. He was obviously one of those character actors who just like got cast in everything. If they needed some tough guy or they needed a whatever, just get Warren Oates. And of course, also rounding out the cast, we also have John Candy as Ox.
Come now, this is hardly the time for fat jokes like that.
Oh, I know. Yes, and there of course there's the scene where they're all introducing themselves. Like, I'm sure some of you probably noticed I have a little bit of weight problem. Oh no.
Was this the one where he said, "I swallow a lot of anger and a lot of pizzas"?
Yeah. And yeah, he walks up to the two the two love interests for Murray and Ramis, and he says, "Is there a meal on this flight?"
So sometimes we end up watching these old 80s comedies and they leave me a little bit cold. This one for me at least was firing on all cylinders. There's just so many great lines, so many great set pieces. There's just a lot of great visual gags. Like he ends up throwing a basketball, it goes through his window. He leans out, "Hey, toss it up." And they throw it up, and it goes through the other window.
No, yeah. Thank you. Or when they're doing the rope climb, and they're like, "Okay, well, Sergeant Holka, why don't you do this?" He's like, "Oh, okay," and then he climbs up the rope and gets to the top, and then a mortar blows him off.
Yeah, let's hear it. John Larroquette as Captain Stillman is like one of the more, I'd say, like an unsung hero of this movie because he's just such a great stuffed shirt.
Yeah. He's the commander of their whole unit, but he is just totally incompetent, but tries to play it off like he is competent.
Right. He's the Peter principle in action.
Yeah.
Like they're shooting off mortars and he doesn't understand why they would need to do calculations to figure out where it would go.
Just fire the mortar off. Or he's in his office and he's got his eyeglass and he's looking at all the female officers showering. And then the colonel walks in and he's like, "Oh."
Yeah. There's also like actually funny bits of foreshadowing in the movie. Like early on, they make a reference to having a Winnebago, and they end up in this urban combat vehicle, which is clearly just a modified. If it isn't a Winnebago, it's some sort of like miniature mobile home.
Yeah. Which they promptly take to go on a joyride.
Yep. This is one of those comedies where there isn't necessarily all that much to talk about because it's not like some where it's like you can go over, well, this didn't work because of this didn't work because of that, and so on. But it's like sometimes something is just good enough that it's hard to talk about at length without just sitting here and swapping and musing like, "Oh, remember this scene? Remember that scene?"
Yeah. Well, I do want to mention real quick. Of course, one of the famous scenes from the movie, of course, is the mud wrestling scene with John Candy.
Oh, yes.
If you watch the documentary about him, they talked about the scene, and he actually didn't want to do it, and I can kind of understand why, because it didn't look like it actually doesn't. The mud wrestling, even if you're mud wrestling with beautiful women, it doesn't look fun.
No, I'm sure mud gets everywhere, and he wasn't wearing, or he was wearing a coat, so that would just wearing a sweater, so that probably just got completely stuck to him so quickly.
Yeah, well, that was the only way he would do the scene, was if he was wearing something to cover up.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, because of course, because of his size, he was very self-conscious.
Right.
I did think it was kind of funny how like Murray was standing back, like egging him on, and kind of he's yelling at the ref like, "Come on, ref, what are you doing?" But yeah, I can't remember for me to find anything. I will say, if there was one negative I would have to say about it, is it does kind of fall into the the trap of a lot of 80s comedies, which is the third act gets a little too silly. When they have to stage the rescue mission, and then they have to go across the border, and because they're in Germany and they have to go across the border into Czechoslovakia, because it was still Czechoslovakia at the time, and it got that part of it got a little silly, especially with the border guards. But other than that, I mean, I don't really have much negative to say.
I think that's a case of your mileage may vary, because I thought that was just the right amount of silly. So
yeah,
that's. But no, it's a fine movie. It's currently on Netflix. I will say I'm not even the world's biggest Bill Murray fan, and this is like an excellent use of Bill Murray for his personality and what he brings to the table.
Oh yeah, definitely. And Ramis was a good straight man too.
Yep.
I can see why they this. I think it was probably this movie. This movie was the start of their beautiful friendship, and then Groundhog Day was the end of it.
So it's kind of funny to me that they worked together as long as it was light and silly, but as soon as they started making the movie with an actual like depth to it,
yeah, they
heads started butting.
Yes, yeah. But I will say they did reconcile before Ramis passed away, so
that's good.
Yeah. But yeah, if you, for whatever reason, if you're like me, if you hadn't checked out this movie yet, yeah, go check it out. Well, I think we've said all we need to say for tonight. Short show.
You know what? Yeah, but you know what? A short show that gets to the point and a 50% hit rate on movie recommendations. We've done way worse than that.
Yes, we have. All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it as always. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, ring the bell, buy some books, all that good stuff. And we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Good night.